Welcome to Week 2 of ModPoPLUS, the second half of Chapter 1. During this week of ModPo, we of course discuss some poets who come after Whitman and Dickinson, and who write in the Whitmanian or Dickinsonian modes. Our Whitmanian here is William Carlos Williams, and we've got one more of Williams' extensive, democratic, exuberantly inclusive poems, Catholic Bells, and a real treat in store for you as Julia Block leads the ModPo TAs in a discussion of this poem about Williams' intense efforts to hear the communitarian meaning of the ringing of the bells that usually do not toll for him. On the Dickinsonian side, we have, among other materials, more poems by Laureen Niedecker. The poem Wilderness is paired with Foreclosure, which you'll find in the main ModPo syllabus, that is, Foreclosure. Both those poems are discussed in an episode of Poem Talk, and we add Niedecker's poem about economics, A Country's Economics Sick. We also include here in Week 2 of ModPoPLUS two other Niedecker poems, Easter Greeting and I Married. I Married is accompanied by a video recording of poet-teacher Sarah Dowling leading a 20-minute discussion of I Married with a group of high school students who were visiting the Kelly Writers House. So that's 5 poems by Laureen Niedecker in ModPoPLUS. The Niedecker recordings are rare. She wasn't recorded much, and they came to us, that is to Penn Sound, from Sid Corman himself, who traveled to Niedecker's remote Wisconsin home in 1970 with his tape recorder and asked her to read some then new poems. Foreclosure and Wilderness are among them. In the main ModPo syllabus, one of the Dickinsonians is language poet Ray Armantrout. Here, in ModPoPLUS, we return to reread her poem The Way, and we link to a recording of a ModPo webcast discussion about that poem as a supplement or bonus. Another Dickinsonian, roughly speaking, is Sid Corman, whose poem It Isn't for Want in the main ModPo syllabus has become a favorite of ModPo people. Here we reread that poem and watch a clip from a ModPo webcast discussion on It Isn't for Want as a participatory poem. And then there's Sid Corman's Enuresis, E-N-U-R-E-S-I-S, a devastating poem that seems to be about the trauma of memories of and physical responses to war, and the trauma of childhood memories of angry parents. And unforgettably, the short poem brings these two together. What's Dickinsonian about Sid Corman here, aside from the compact intensity of the verse and its inwardness or involution, is the powerful way in which the domestic scene trumps the far-flung, happens elsewhere, geopolitical or martial or military. Intense responsiveness always comes back home, indeed. Vesuvius, always more powerful at home. Enuresis was recorded when Sid Corman read for a huge audience at the Kelly Writers House over the telephone from his home in Kyoto, Japan. He wasn't able to travel to be with us in Philadelphia, but his voice came ringing through the phone and mesmerized us. Tom Devaney and Frank Sherlock, two Philadelphia-based poets and both great admirers of Sid Corman, and Sherlock, a friend and correspondent of Sid's, co-hosted that unforgettable event with me at the Writers House, and then later participated in the Poem Talk discussion you will hear. Week 2 of ModPoPLUS concludes with a 5-minute video recording of a discussion on the importance of Walt Whitman to contemporary poets.